In this video, we'll continue rounding whole numbers, and we'll look at rounding to the nearest hundred. Rounding to the nearest hundred means that we're going to find the multiple of 100 that our number is closest to. So our answers will look like things like 200, 300, or possibly 1,800, 1,900, but all of our answers will end in 2 zeros. It can again be helpful to use peaks to visualize how we would round. When I'm rounding to the nearest hundred, I made peaks at multiples of 50. This is because 50 is in the middle of 0 and 100. Let's do some examples where we look at rounding using our peaks. The first problem says we want to round 172 to the nearest hundred. We need to estimate where 172 would be on my number line. Well, 172 is between 150 and 200. So 172 would be about here. Now we're going to imagine that it slides. Well, it's going to slide down into this valley. So 172 would slide to the 200 valley. So rounding to the nearest hundred gives us 200. Let's try 147. 147 is a little bit smaller than 150. So it would be up here. When it slides to its valley, it's going to slide down to that valley. So to the nearest hundred, 147 rounds to 100. Now let's round 250. That one is already graphed for me. It's up here at the peak. Just like in the tens, mathematicians have decided that numbers at the peak are going to slide down to the higher valley. So this one's going to slide to the right, slides down to the valley of 300. While you can always draw your own peaks and valleys, it's good to know the rules so you can often do this without a drawing. So when we round to the nearest hundred, we look at the value in the tens place. If there is a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the tens place, we're going to slide back to the previous value. This means that the hundredths digit will stay the same, but the 10 and the 1 will become a 0. If there is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 in the tens place, we're going to slide forward to the next valley. This makes our hundredths digit go up 1. But again, the 10 and the 1 will become zeros. Let's round 728 to the nearest hundred. The 7 is in the hundreds place, so the number we have to look at is in the tens place. That's the 2. If there is a 2 in the tens place, that means we're going to slide back to our previous valley. 728 would round to 700. This is because 728 is closer to 700 than it is to 800. We can round larger numbers to the nearest hundred. 4,573. The 5 is in the hundreds place. We're looking at our tens place. The 7 is in the tens place. The 7 in the tens place means we're going to slide to the bigger valley. So we're going to slide to the next valley. That means my hundreds place is going to go up by 1. I will slide to the 4,600 valley because 4,573 is closer to 4,600 than it is to 4,500.